The Remove a Color effect is one of the most powerful effects Camtasia has to offer you. This effect allows you to selectively render a particular color or range of colors transparent. The effect is commonly referred to as a green screen effect or a keyer, although you can apply the effect to any color, not just green. Here's a short clip that I recorded in front of my green screen. On the layer below, I've added the adjustment image and effect that we created in an earlier movie. Let's apply the Remove a Color effect to key out the green screen so we can composite the speaker into the scene on the layer below. With the clip selected, scroll down in your Visual Properties Inspector to find the effects controls. First, we need to tell Camtasia which color that we want to remove. Click on the eyedropper tool and then select the green background color. Depending on how evenly lit your green screen is, will determine how well Camtasia does at pulling the initial key. Next, we'll need to fine-tune the results by adjusting these sliders in small increments. Let's begin with the tolerance slider. Tolerance will increase or decrease the range of what similar colors are selected. Notice the slight green cast that's appearing on my shoulders. Try to find a balance in the settings to remove that cast. That looks pretty good at about 20%. Then, adjust the softness of the key or how generous Camtasia is at selecting the adjacent pixels. I think that looks pretty good at about 5%. The hue slider will begin pulling the selected color out of the rest of the image. Since we're pulling green out of the image, if we go too far, the image can take on a magenta cast. Press the Reset button if needed. I'll pull a little bit of the green out. A setting of about 16% looks pretty natural. Next is Defringe. Defringe will attempt to smooth out the edges of the selection, reducing the potential jagged appearance at the edges of the key. A setting of about 10% looks pretty good for this image. You can invert the mask to leave the selected color but render all of the other pixels transparent. You could use this trick to create an animated silhouette over top of the background. I'll leave the invert box unchecked to return back to my normal key. Once you have your key dialed in, you can now scale and reposition the image to create the composited scene that you're looking for. Be sure to play back your video to see the final effect and make additional adjustments as needed. One of my favorite classes in college was a black and white photography course. We shot on film and learned to develop it ourselves. It really taught me to see the world in a different light. I still shoot with black and white film sometimes, but I've learned to blend in other digital tools and techniques, and that's added a whole new depth and dimension to my work. One final note about the Remove a Color effect. In an earlier movie, we saw how to use Keynote to create custom animations and then import those videos into Camtasia. Try using the same technique, but set the background color to a custom solid color that contrasts with the rest of your slides. I used a green with an RGB value of 0, 249, 0. Then export your presentation as a movie and import it back into Camtasia. Use the same techniques that you learned in this movie to composite your own custom animated motion graphics into your Camtasia project. Here's a clip that I've exported from Keynote. Pause the video and try to key out the green background on your own. Pay particular attention to the edges of the text and any frames that have flames or white smoke appears. How'd you do? Here's what I came up with when I applied the Remove a Color effect. I began by using the eyedropper tool to select the green background color. Then I set the tolerance to 35%, the softness to 22%, the hue to 0, and defringe to -66. The settings that you use will be different for every clip that you attempt to remove a color on. Take your time and practice using the effect with your own clips. You'll be amazed at what you can do with this powerful tool.